One day he witnessed a teacher beating a little girl on the head so hard that she died the next day. In the afternoon, the 5-year-old was sent to the mountains to do hard labor. The only positive thing about that was that it was possible to catch mice, rats, worms and snakes for the eternally hungry stomachs. Friendship and closeness didn't exist. Everyone was on his own. Everybody else could be an informer.
Our society was constructed in a way so that my mother was supposed to inform on me and I would inform on her.
Hit pause again. Hit pause. In Austin, they put TV ads on. I've got a clip of it in Fall of the Republic where they say, $200 to report on your neighbors or family, passing them out to the kids. And the cops are like, this is how we stop crime. But we know everywhere else, Germany, North Korea, we know it's bad. We know Pol Pot, our own government-funded Pol Pot. We know it's evil, folks. But they've got, and the guards and police get in this psychopathic power trip. Now they taser you if you don't get in line right away. Here it is.
Shin was taken from his mother. He was placed in a dormitory and supposed to attend secondary school.
From 12 years on, it was nothing but work. But they called it secondary school. There was no reading or stuff like that.
수용소에서 이제 작업할 게 있으면 우리 학생들이 나가서 막 하거든요.
It would be 2 years before he was to see his mother and an unknown brother again. But before that, he was suddenly dragged out from the dormitory by guards, thrown into an isolation cell, and subjected to unspeakable torture.
Good pause. Notice there was an older brother he'd never met that had been kept in another slave pit. See, it's about breaking the family down to where one time you're put in a cell with a woman to get her pregnant, you don't know your brother. And, I mean, this is pure boot stomping on the human face forever. This is 1984. This is what you're going to live under. Do you understand? Unless you say no. Continue. Cutting his fingers off. Putting a giant hook through him. Over fire.
His mother and brother had attempted to escape. The idea was to get the 14-year-old boy to reveal if he knew anything about the attempt, but he knew nothing and couldn't tell anything. The torture went on for 7 months. One day, it was the 29th of October 1996, Shin was dragged out to an open square and placed in the first row of the prisoners there. He thought he was about to be executed, but then they brought out his mother and his brother.
I think it is better we skip this part.
The brother was shot. The mother hung. She was tied up and gagged, but just before she died, she looked directly at him. He avoided her eyes. From then on, a miserable life was transformed to daily naked horror.
After the death of my mother, I had an incredible hard time. I was beaten every day. I almost died.
The other children attacked him. "Your life is lost," they yelled and laughed. They stole his food, and all the time he hated his mother and brother for what they had done.
I blame them a lot. It's hard to express.
형에 대해서 많이 진짜 원망스러웠어요. 그냥 엄마.
But it was a good thing that they died.
엄마하고 형하고 많이 원망했어요. 어떻게 보면은 엄마하고 형이 죽기 잘했다. 그때는 그렇게 생각했어요.
After all they had committed a crime.
Pause. That's like the average American defending the government, defending the police, defending torture, defending killing 1 million Iraqis. You are just like him now. Years after he escaped, through the electrical barbed wire fence, incredible, just whole backs of his legs burned off, just molten scars. Remember that. He still defends them because that's the mind control. He loves O'Brien. He loves Big Brother. He's been to the Chestnut Inn. Go back to it.
Years went by. Shin was teamed up with a guy who had lived outside the wire. He told the boy about Kim Jong-il and his father Kim Il-sung, and about the fact that a world existed out there where there was endless amount of food every day.
The food made me escape. Even if it was going to cost me my life, the only thing that interested me was the food.
All right, stop there. BBC reports, I've had top British government people on, remember a few years ago, that you're going to have a ration card for how much food you can have. That's the carbon tax. You're all going to live like that. That's been announced. They're going to phase it in incrementally. We already have more people in prison than any other country in the world. It's over. Unless we say no to these people. I'm going to skip this final break. It's a network break, so stations are playing ads over it. They're really not supposed to, whatever. It's not even that a lot of stations sit there and play ads over our breaks. It's that then when we do skip a network break, you don't hear what I have to say, even though it's our time. But we're going to break here in a moment, except for network break. I'm going to go ahead and go to calls. That's only part of it. You can go watch the rest of it. It gets even worse. And that's what we fight. That's what we're up against. What did Ted Bundy do? He went and chained women down for months and tortured them. What does every psycho do? This is beautiful to them. When psychopaths get control of your government, that's what's set up. Doesn't matter if it's in Asia, Europe, Latin America, that's what happens. As for me, I'm going to try to peaceably beat these people. I'm going to try to peaceably wake up as many as I can. And I will die on my feet instead of on my knees. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm not going to a work camp. You're not going to have some guard sitting there putting hooks through me. I mean, they may grab me off the street and get away with that, but and the point is, I'm going to, and I know that's tyranny, that's terrorism to say I'm not going to be sent to a death camp. The average American's like, you must go to death camp if government says. Government is God. See, you have been brought into this. It's over for some of you. I mean, your mind's far gone. You're so scared of the tyranny that you decide, like the Stockholm Syndrome, to serve it. You're like the Austin police. You know, they'll shut things down illegal, and they don't care. First, they said they didn't do it. Now they're saying, oh, we did for your own safety. So what? No law, we just did it. And that's how you become like Fidel Castro.